What if I told you that the single greatest obstacle between you and the deep, meaningful connection you crave with a woman isn't your looks, your money, or your status? What if I told you that this obstacle lives silently on your phone, in your browser history, and is being carefully engineered by a multi-billion-dollar industry to keep you single, drained, and addicted? Every single second, over 28,000 people press play on a fantasy. They are participants in one of the largest, most insidious psychological experiments ever conducted on humanity. And maybe, just maybe, you're one of them. You tell yourself it's normal. Harmless. Just a way to unwind. But if you're being truly honest with yourself, you felt it, haven't you? That quiet sense of guilt after you close the tab. That nagging lack of motivation the next morning. That feeling of emptiness, like something vital inside you is slipping away with every click. Today, we're not just going to talk about quitting a habit. We're going to talk about reclaiming your very soul. We're going to uncover how this so-called harmless habit is systematically destroying your ability to attract, connect with, and love a real woman. And I'm going to give you the ancient Stoic toolkit to not just break free, but to transmute that wasted energy into raw, magnetic confidence. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you will understand that the choice you make in private is defining the man you are in public. The dopamine deception. Your brain on a leash. So, why does this habit have such a death grip on so many men? The answer isn't a moral failing. It's a biological one. Science tells us that each time you indulge, your brain is flooded with a massive surge of a chemical called dopamine, the pleasure chemical. Sounds good, right? Wrong. It's a trick. Because the more you indulge in this easy, instant pleasure, the more your brain becomes addicted to it. And just like any other addiction, the side effects begin to poison your life. Your drive to accomplish real, meaningful goals begins to fade away. Why would you put in the hard work to approach a woman, build a business, or sculpt your body, when your brain has already received a massive reward for doing absolutely nothing? You're essentially teaching your brain to choose fake, pixelated achievement over real-world victory. The ancient Stoics understood this trap long before modern science put a name to it. They warned relentlessly against the dangers of being controlled by your base desires. The great Stoic philosopher, Seneca, wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." Think about that. Every time you give in, you are reinforcing the mindset of a slave. You are whispering to your subconscious, "I am not in control. My impulses are." But let's be real. It's not just you. This isn't a personal failure, it's a societal trap. And to escape it, you first have to understand how it was built. How did we get to a point where a generation of men are being neurologically rewired in silence? The cultural hijacking. How they sold you the poison. It didn't happen overnight. It was a slow, deliberate creep. 5,000 years ago, it was a clay figure buried in the dirt. Then, in 1839, photography was born, and almost instantly, the lens was turned towards a naked woman, a rare, hidden image. In 1953, Playboy magazine brought it from the shadows onto the coffee table, selling 50,000 copies in its first run. The 80s brought it into our homes on VHS tapes. And then, the internet. And everything went downhill from there. What began as innocent cat videos and birthday surprises soon morphed into something else entirely. When Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion in 2012, the goal was no longer connection, it was growth. And nothing, drives growth like sexualized content. The algorithm learned. It doesn't have a moral compass. It just follows the numbers. More skin, more clicks. A girl quickly learns that a pouty, sexy pose gets far more likes and follows than a simple smile. So the algorithm pushes that content. Creators see what works and follow the pattern. The outfits get smaller. The dances get more suggestive. The trends push the line just a little bit further. What we have now is a culture flooded with what I call softcore porn. It's not explicit enough to be flagged, but it's provocative enough to hijack your attention and drip feed that dopamine you've become accustomed to. You're trying to escape, but every time you open your phone, it's there. They sold this to us just like they sold cigarettes and sugar. In the 1940s, doctors were on TV telling you that smoking was good for you. For decades, they told us sugar was part of a healthy breakfast, a harmless treat that wouldn't affect our waistline. It was all a lie, and we're now living with the consequences. Pornography is the new tobacco. But the sales pitch is even more clever this time. They don't sell it as a product, they sell it as progress. They call it empowering, inclusive, a celebration of freedom. They've normalized it to the point where platforms like OnlyFans are pitched as just another side hustle, an infinite money cheat code. But this brings us to the most important question of all. We've seen how the trap was built. But what is it actually costing you? The price is far higher than just your time and energy. It's costing you the woman of your dreams. The ghost in the bedroom. How porn kills real intimacy. This is the part nobody wants to talk about, but it's the reality for millions of men. As a dating coach, I see this every single day. You see, your brain is an adaptation machine. What you feed it becomes its reality. When you exclusively learn about intimacy from content designed to be as extreme as possible, real connection starts to feel boring. Erectile dysfunction, once a problem for men in their 50s, is now showing up in men under 25. I've coached men, handsome, successful men, who admit they can't get aroused by a real, beautiful woman in their bed because she doesn't perform like the actresses in the videos they watch. They have to fantasize about the extreme scenarios they've seen online just to be present with a real partner. Can you imagine the damage that does? Your partner feels it. She feels your disconnect. She starts to feel like she isn't enough for you, that she can't compete with the thousands of women on your screen. She'll say things like, "I feel like you're not attracted to me," and you'll have no answer, filled with shame and embarrassment. You are essentially bringing a ghost into your bedroom. An impossible standard of performance, novelty, and objectification that no real human being can ever live up to. This isn't connection. This isn't love. It's a performance based on a script written by an industry that sees human beings as nothing more than sex organs. Even the men at the very top of their game are not immune. Terry Crews, the epitome of strength and masculinity, admitted that a pornography addiction nearly destroyed his marriage and his life. He said it made him believe he was more valuable than his wife simply because he was a man. This is the insidious nature of the beast, it objectifies everyone, including the user. So what's the way out? How do you escape the trap, heal your brain, and become the kind of man who can build powerful, real-world connections? The answer has been waiting for you for over 2,000 years. The Stoic solution. How to reclaim your power. The Stoics taught that the path to a good life, a eudaimonic life, is through self-mastery. The answer lies in 3 timeless Stoic principles that you can apply right now. 1. Self-discipline, the key to true freedom. The Stoic slave-turned-philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is truly free who is not master of himself." Your freedom begins the exact moment you decide to stop being a slave to your impulses. But listen closely, this is not about shame or denial. It's about choice. It's about choosing what is truly valuable over what is merely easy. Every single time you feel the urge and you choose to go for a walk, read a book, or do a set of push-ups instead, you are casting a vote for the man you want to become. You are literally rewiring your brain, strengthening your resolve, and weakening the chains of your addiction. You are choosing the real woman in your future over the fake pixels on your screen. 2. Find your purpose, replace the void. The Stoics believed a life without a clear purpose is a wasted life. So many men fall into this trap because they lack something meaningful to channel their powerful masculine energy into. Think about it. If your mind is obsessed with building your dream business, mastering a martial art, learning an instrument, or getting into the best physical shape of your life, do you really have the time or mental energy for pointless, draining indulgence? You must find a mission. A great and worthy goal. The key is to replace the habit with something that gives you a real sense of fulfillment and pride. Nature abhors a vacuum. You cannot just remove a bad habit, you must replace it with a good one. 3. Transmutation, redirect your primal energy. This is the secret that the greatest men in history understood. Ancient warriors, visionary artists, and brilliant inventors knew that sexual energy is the most powerful creative force a man possesses. When that energy is wasted, his potential is wasted along with it. But when it is harnessed, when it is redirected and channeled into a productive purpose, it becomes a source of unstoppable drive, creativity, and ambition. The legendary inventor Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest minds in history, was celibate for most of his life because he believed it allowed him to channel all of his energy into his work, achieving things others could only dream of. This is what the Stoics preached. Instead of squandering this powerful energy on a fleeting, empty pleasure, you must learn to use it. Use it to fuel your workouts. Use it to focus on your work. Use it to be more present and charismatic in your conversations. This energy is your rocket fuel. Stop spilling it on the launch pad. The climax. The man you were meant to be. So what happens when you quit? What happens when you apply these principles and take back control? Imagine this: you wake up in the morning and you don't feel shame. You don't feel groggy. You feel a surge of pure, unbreakable energy. You look at yourself in the mirror and you feel genuine confidence, not arrogance, but a quiet self-respect. Your mental clarity sharpens. Your focus at work or in your studies becomes laser-like. Your testosterone levels, the very hormone of masculinity, begin to increase. But most importantly, how you interact with women will change completely. You'll no longer see them through a lens of objectification. You'll be able to hold eye contact, to be genuinely curious about who they are. Your conversations will be witty and present, because your mind isn't clouded by a dopamine hangover. You will radiate a calm, centered energy that is incredibly attractive because it is so rare. This is the energy of a man who is in control of himself. This is what the Stoics called true freedom. This isn't just about quitting a bad habit. It's about becoming the man you were always meant to be. The choice, as always, is yours. Will you remain trapped in the digital cage, a slave to an algorithm designed to exploit you? Or will you rise above it? Will you take control, reclaim your power, and start living a life of purpose, discipline, and true connection? No great man in history was ruled by his desires. The men who changed the world were the ones who mastered themselves first. If you're ready to begin that journey, if you're ready to become a modern Stoic and build a life of unshakable strength and integrity, then make sure to subscribe to the Stoic Core and join our community of men who are choosing to be free. Your journey to self-mastery starts right now.